Before I click add to cart slash, actually I've already clicked add to cart, but I haven't clicked purchase yet. It sounds like a very intriguing book. So I immediately was like, wait, what? This looks really cool. The last book is Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. Today's video is going to be a little rundown of some books that I have on my kind of wish list TBR that I am eyeing and want to buy. They're mostly slash basically all new releases, but I want them all. So there's like something about each one of these books that is completely intriguing me. So I just thought I would talk about some of these books and then maybe you guys could weigh in and let me know if you have read any of them or recommend any of them. I'm basically looking for an excuse to buy a new book. So I thought, why not get some people to weigh in and see what you guys think. The first book is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And I will say, this is a book that really, like, it was sort of on my radar in the sense that I knew that it was like a bestseller and people were talking about it, but it didn't completely intrigue me out of the gate, mostly because I didn't really know what it was about. But during Thriller Fest, oddly enough, this came up a lot with people, and Harlan Coben in particular was talking about it, and that in and of itself sort of put my antenna up, and he had mentioned that there is like a murder mystery aspect to it, which I didn't realize. I don't know why, I really kind of thought it was just sort of like a historical fiction period. Like, I didn't really know anything else about it, but the fact that there is like somebody dies in it and then there's like a mystery to it, I was like, sign me up. So I looked into it and it looks like it's sort of kind of part coming of age story. It is set, I think, like 1969, but then somebody does get murdered, so there's like a whodunit aspect to it. And it says like if you like Barbara Kingsolver, you'll love it. I've never read any of her stuff. I think it's sort of like if you like some of Kristen Hanna's books, you'll love it. I've never read any of her stuff, but I hear great things about her. So I'm super intrigued. There is an element of FOMO going on here, I'll be honest. But I'm also trying to sort of like stretch myself as usual outside of my normal like straight up thriller, but maybe this is like a little bit of both and it's a good reason to get me into it. So let me know if you guys have read it, recommend it. Like I said, I've heard so many great things about it and I've seen it pop up on other people's channels, and I understand like just because it's a bestseller doesn't mean it's necessarily like amazing for me, but I'm thinking maybe it is. The next book is The Chain by Adrienne McKinty, and this is one that has been on my radar. It is a thriller and it's like so messed up, and I'm just so impressed with this author for this concept. And what this is basically this family's child is kidnapped and they get a phone call, and it's like, you won't get your kid back until you kidnap somebody else's kid. They find out about it and then like they go and kidnap someone else's kid, and the chain continues. So the only way to get your kid back is to kidnap somebody else's child and then to give them the ultimatum that they have to go kidnap a kid, and then yours is set free, supposedly. How messed up is this? I am fascinated by this concept. It sounds so horribly messed up, but it's very much, I'm guessing, like the lengths that you will go to for your family, for your child, and I'm sure it is all sorts of moral gray. It obviously puts all of these parents in such a horrible position because they know what it's like to have their own child kidnapped, and then they're forced to put that pain into another parent's life. So this sounds so good. I think it just came out here. I think it's been out in the UK for a bit. I really want this book, you guys. This sounds so good, and I've seen so many good reviews about it. So this one definitely is like higher up on my list of things that I really feel like I need in my life. The next book is The Whisper Man by Alex North, and this is another one that has been on my radar for a bit. I thought the cover looked super cool, which intrigued me, and then I saw it was a thriller, and it sounds kind of I don't know that it's horror per se, but there's like this serial killer who would sort of lure his victims by whispering in their window to like get them to come out or something. So he was dubbed the Whisper Man, but he was like caught and in jail. But then this father and son moved to the town. So I think the wife, I don't know if she was murdered or dies or whatever, but they kind of moved back to this town, and a young boy, sort of the same age as the son, winds up getting kidnapped. And I think it's reminiscent of the serial killer who's in jail. So people believe that he had an accomplice. So the police are looking into it, but you've got the father son who are sort of caught in the mix somehow with the serial killer. I'm not totally sure. It's all very vague. I'm doing a crap job of explaining this book. But it sounds like the Whisper Man, maybe, I don't know if they caught the wrong guy. He had an accomplice, if he's back. I don't know what all is happening, but it got great reviews. It's supposed to be like spine-tingling, thrilling, and like super suspenseful, and just sort of like all the things you want a book to be, and like uber creepy, which it sounds like uber creepy, with like the Whisper Man kind of like at your window calling out to you. Definitely sounds like a book I also don't want to read late at night, but I don't know, I want to read it. I want to read it. I don't know why I feel the need to scare myself right now. But this kind of feels like a perfect October-y, haunty, sort of Halloween time reading book. The next book is another one that I heard about at Thriller Fest, and it's The Two Lylas by Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. And they are best friends who have known each other forever and write together and have written a bunch of books together, and this happens to be their latest. And it is a thriller, obviously, because I saw it about Thriller Fest. But it is one of those where you have two different sort of timelines. It's like a sliding doors type of scenario. And Lila is a defense attorney, criminal defense attorney. Her career, her marriage, and her life are on the line. So basically what happens is, it says, in one life she's taken hostage by someone who appears to be a stranger but knows too much, and she's trapped in a concrete cell, her kidnapper forcing her to face what she's done or be killed. In an alternate life, she eludes her captor but is hunted by someone who is dismantling her happiness, exposing one secret at a time. So obviously we get two different scenarios. Her life could go two different ways. Both of them sound totally horrible. Both of them sound like she might not survive. So it is a question of like, what on earth did she do? What are these secrets? You know, can she escape? Can she, you know, avoid this assailant who's out to get her? Can she figure out who it is? And it says which parts of her life are worth saving and which parts must die. Because one thing is for certain, life as Lila Bennett knew it is over. So I am also really happy because Nicole from Girly Girl Bookworm was talking about this book, and she pointed out that if you are a Prime member, you can get this book for free. So I don't need anybody to weigh in on if I should get it, because I did, because it was free. But I just did it this week during Thriller-a-thon. So I haven't started reading it yet, but I would be curious if anyone has read it and has any like feelings, input, reviews, any of that kind of stuff. But I very much enjoyed them as a like a writing duo, and like the chemistry between them and the obvious friendship between them. So like I said, they have a bunch of other books which I'd be interested in reading, but I went for this one first because I could. But I would be curious, like I said, if anyone else has read this one or read any of their books and has any opinions about that. The next book is The Birthday Girl by Melissa De La Cruz, and this is another thriller-esque type of thing, and it has sort of a lot of the things that I love in a book, which is basically somebody with a whole lot of secrets that are going to come back to haunt you. And in the case of this book, our main character, Ellie, it is her 40th birthday and she's having a party. And basically it says like everyone in her life, whether invited or not, shows up. And basically it sounds like secrets are coming out and it threatens to kind of unravel everything. So she's like a super successful fashion designer. She's married, she's got a kid, stepdaughter, twin boys, lots of homes, dazzling career, tons of friends, everything you could ever want in life, basically. And it's all going to be threatened by someone or someone's. So it says, like, basically she has a lot of skeletons in her closet. And it says it all comes to a head the night of her fabulous birthday party in the desert, where everyone who matters in her life shows up, invited or not. Old and new friends and frenemies, stepdaughters and business partners, ex-wives and ex-husbands congregate, and the glittering facade of Ellie's life begins to crumble. Just sounds so good. And I want to say a long time ago, she wrote a book that was like chick lit. I feel like it was hers. I don't know if it was like Cat's Meow or Cat's something. I'm gonna have to like go on Goodreads and look. But I feel very distinctly that it was her. And I remember I was in Boston at the time reading her book on the T, and someone saying to me like, hey, that's my friend. It's so cool you're reading her book. And I feel like it was Melissa De La Cruz. I really do. So I'm gonna have to go back and look. Not that it matters to anybody, but her name sticks out for me. And I haven't read, excuse me, any of her other books, but she's written a whole bunch. But I feel like there's just something about this one that is very appealing to me. So on my list. The last book is called The Best Lies by Sarah Liu, and this is a young adult mystery thriller. And I feel like it was like Book Riot's newsletter that I saw this on, or maybe BookBub, and the cover completely grabbed my attention. And then I read a little bit about it and I was like, okay, this kind of sounds like something I can get into, even though I don't read a ton of young adult. I have been reading more of it lately, and I do love a good YA high school show. So this is about a girl named Remy, and it says it's Gone Girl meets Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls, and it's a debut novel about a toxic friendship, and Remy and her boyfriend Jack are happy as can be, and she's got a best friend Elise who is her soulmate, and they are just all the best of friends. And then it says, but now Jack is dead, shot through the chest, and it was Elise who pulled the trigger. So Elise is the best friend. Was it self-defense? Did something else happen? What's going on here? So it says, told in alternating timelines, this twisted psychological thriller explores the dark side of obsessive friendship. So I feel like after I just read 13 Minutes by Sarah Pinborough as part of Thrillerathon, which is, it was sort of dubbed like Mean Girls on Crack, but it was, you talk about like toxic female friendships. That book definitely had it in spades. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So maybe that's sort of why this is on the brain also. But I love me some high school stuff. So I'm intrigued by this. I don't know if this has come out yet. Yes, it did. It came out in July. So super curious if anyone's read it. Like I said, I think I said it's a debut novel, so you wouldn't have read anything else by her. But I'm curious if anyone else has heard anything else about this, or maybe read an arc of it, or maybe read the book itself. But it sounds interesting to me. So yes, that's my last one that I'm really tempted to click purchase on at Amazon. So that's it for the books. Well, no, it's not it for all the books that I want to read, but that's it for today's video of books that I want to read. But like I said, FOMO is playing a huge part in this right now, between Crawdads, and then The Chain just sounds so like epically smart to me that I just am like desperate to read it. Like I feel like this is just going to be amazing, and I don't want to like build up my own expectations of it. But anyway, I am feeling that itch as usual to just be getting something new. But let me know if you guys have read any of these books, have heard anything about any of these books, recommend any of these books. If there's books that are your, you know, kind of like, I really want to buy this, I'm really tempted to buy this, I really am eager to read this kind of a book too, because I'm sure I'm missing a lot from my list as always. But thank you guys for hanging out today and chit-chatting with me. Definitely like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I will be back with more really soon, and I will see you guys when that happens. So have a great day, everybody. Bye.